for slate flooring, or even countertops can be made of slate. Anything with stone, I would start it with a vertical first, and then get your background in, and then it has a lovely variegated surface. The stone is uneven, it looks uneven, and there are patches. It looks like patches of different surfaces and so on it. It has dots in it. Any stone you add dots. And to calm it down a little bit, I'll go back over with my verticals and just calm it down a little bit. But now I've got a variegated surface that has that same direction as the veining of my marble did. The direction that you put this in does have an effect, and I'm just going to go back and put a little bit darker, not even darker, it's just the same number 3. I'm going to put that at the edge, because some of these different heights on the surface cast shadows. So that's the illusion I'm putting in now and dotting. And you can dot with your marker a little bit, your black marker, but I think it might be a little softer with the pencil. So just dot with the pencil. Any sort of stone you can float texture over with your pencil. And then you use your white pencil just after the place where you darkened it to lighten that up a little bit. You don't have to actually even be that methodical. You can just sort of put the white pencil over to lighten areas up. Sometimes when the light hits it, it hits it pretty hard, and you get areas that are really, really faded out. And they come in verticals too. The lights come in verticals. This won't look right. It won't look like anything until we break it up into tiles. Now I won't break them up into perspective tiles here, but it'll make more sense when it's broken up into tiles. And you can use your white pencil here to... A lot of these materials, until they're broken up into tiles, they won't look like what they are, especially stone. Now the next one, I'll start with my 3. This is getting a little dry, so I can see my lines a little bit. And the islands, I'm going to I think of them as islands, but the little patches of different shapes, I'm going to put them on with the 5. This one is really wet and the other one was very dry. This might be good. It might help to make the shapes a little more miasmic. I'll fill this one with 5 because this is our shadow now. And I'll float the 7 over top of this. And even if you did this one tile at a time, so you could do it while it was wet, I think that would be maybe the best way to do it, so that they would all kind of blend. Because it's an obvious pattern, but it's not stark. But again, this won't look like anything until we break it up into tiles. That's how it's used on a floor. And put some texture on these parts that are raised. And put some dots. And you twirl when you make the dots, otherwise they won't stay, they won't catch. I'll try this out on a floor. Most of my floor will be in this range and that range. So I'll have those two to deal with. So I'm going to start by putting in my light plane, and then I'll add my dark plane over top. So I'm going to use my 1 and my 3, and this is in perspective now, so I'll go in and fill it in with my 1. I'm going to try it one square at a time and see if it might be better if I did it several squares at a time. So now I'm trying to float my miasmic shapes in so I get a variegated look to it. This is in the light as well. I'm not leaving any white though, because this is a dark material. It's just that there's so much light hitting it as a top surface that I can't make it too dark. And already this is looking better than the sample because it is broken up into squares, into tiles. That's what makes the difference. Now I just want to try, for interest's sake, the shadow, it's 5 with 7 floating in it. That seems too dark. So maybe when we put, oh, I think I put this, I used this 7, I think. I did. I didn't use the 5, I used the 7. Now this may have been too light, so I didn't go back in and put some dark spots in here. So this is the 3. So I'm going back. I see my miasmic shapes, but they're not really dark enough. So I'm going to go back and put a little bit more in. Now here will be the 5. That's better. 5. And I'll float some 7 on top. Now because this is stone, and it's going to vary, I don't think it would hurt too much to have my shadow different colors, but I'll try to soften that up if I can. This is looking too light for that dark shadow, so you know what to do. You go in with your white pencil and you hatch. So that always works, going with your white pencil to hatch. And I'll use my white pencil to open this tile up and this tile up. And I want to go in and put some texture with my black pencil. Put some dots in. On stone, you always want to put some texture in. And I think put a little bit of shadow. That way I can put a little light on the front part here.